What up, peeps? Tony Baker here, back with another movie review. This time I'm reviewing Happy Gilmore 2 on Netflix. I'm going to be honest with y'all, man. I'm tired of the streaming originals, man. Like, I'm a theater guy. I want to be at the movies, right? And so a movie like this, I wanted a theatrical release because I still feel like theatrical movies are better. There's some good stuff on streaming, but I feel like it's not that stuff looks cheap or bad. And I'm not talking about streaming originals. It's just when I watch a movie, a one-shot, non-episodic movie, there's a look to it that looks Netflixy. Netflix stuff is always super colorful and vibrant and like, or they like, all right, this is going to be gritty. This is going to be a gritty Netflix movie. And then they force the grittiness, but it's still colorful and bright at the same time. It's weird. I don't know how to describe the cinematography of Netflix, but so when I heard Happy Gilmore 2 was coming out on Netflix, I was just kind of like, man, because comedy sequels are already like, I'm already like, man, you ain't gonna be as good as the original. You just not. Because comedy sequels are tough. It's very, especially when the first comedy is one of my favorites of all time. Happy Gilmore is my favorite Adam Sandler movie. And it's one of my favorite comedies. I've seen it probably 19 times. So I was like, man, this, what we doing? But I get it, you know what I'm saying? Adam Sandler has a tremendous deal with Netflix, so he putting out them projects. And we love Happy Gilmore, so we were thinking low-key, like, yo, how come The Waterboy hasn't come back? How come Happy Gilmore hasn't come back? Maybe Billy Madison, like, you know, they did Grown Ups and Grown Ups 2. And Grown Ups, we wasn't really tripping about a sequel. You know, that was one of his movies that was just like, hey, it was cute. But like Happy Gilmore is like, if you did a poll, Happy Gilmore might win as his best movie. So I was like, man, even when I saw the trailer, I was just like, it's just gonna be a cameo fest of just. And it was that. It was Cameo Central. You know what I'm saying? I'll run down the cameos right here, right now. Bad Bunny is in the movie, but it's not a cameo. He has an actual role. He's like his caddy. He has a big role in this. So Bad Bunny is in here for real. But you go down the list, Eminem shows up, Steve Buscemi shows up, Kevin Nealon, you know, Kim Whitley, Eric Andre, a whole bunch of golfers that I didn't know, but you can tell like, oh, that must be a golfer. I can tell by the real athletes, you can kind of tell like, oh, this must be a real athlete. You know what I'm saying? Not that their acting is bad, but just the way they talk and look. It's just like, oh, they do this for real. So it's countless golfers in this thing. Post Malone shows up. So it's just a whole bunch of different like cameos galore. But Happy Gilmore's back. Travis Kelce is in this. John Lovitz, Rob Schneider shows back up. Haven't seen him in a while. Stephen A. Smith. You know, the usual sports people. Reggie Bush is in there. It's just essentially like a cameo fest. And cameos don't make you a funny movie, okay? But I will say that I enjoyed this more than I thought I would. And one of the highlights of the film. So Happy Gilmore is essentially, you know, we left off, he hooked up with Julie Bowen's character, you know, happily ever after. Anyway, they had a bunch of kids and things go sour. This is not going to be a spoiler review. I'm going to just take it light. Things go sour. He ends up kind of just, you know, kind of getting back out there on the golf course, and his kids are super supportive, and you know he's trying to think of ways to earn money for his daughter's, you know, education. So he kind of just like fall back up into the golf game life and just like, you know, getting back out there. He's battling with alcoholism and stuff like that. And meanwhile, there's this new guy that's creating like this new crazy high energy themed golf experience where, you know, they compete and they doing all kind of just weird stuff rather than just a regular golf course, the hole in the tee, classy, tucked in shirts. Now he's trying to make golf look like wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Just doing wild, off the chain stuff, wild, crazy characters and stuff like that. So once he finds out Happy Gilmore is coming back, he's like, yo, let me recruit you. And Happy Gilmore's like, I ain't really feeling this guy, man. He's kind of, you know, I know I'm wild and, you know, I come from a hockey background, but come on, man, I still got respect for the craft. And this dude's just like, nah, man, join us. And so Happy Gilmore is, generally against it. So now they're at odds. So now he tries to get Shooter McGavin out the loony bin because Shooter kind of lost it ever since, the first Happy Gilmore. And Shooter McGavin was one of my favorite parts of the first Happy Gilmore. He was a great villain. And so I'm glad he came back. Christopher McDonald, he's one of the highlights in this sequel for me. Like, he's super funny as Shooter. Just the way Shooter is, I always quote him from the first movie, and the dynamic between him and Happy is just funny. So they incorporate him back into the fold, and I think he's actually a highlight of the movie. Now, we know Chubbs Peterson passed in the first Happy Gilmore, and Carl Weathers actually passed in real life, but they have his son in this, played by Lavelle Crawford. He's a comedian. And so I thought that was a nice touch, too. And he also was missing a hand, so there's that. So with comedies, you always got to revisit the jokes from the first, but then you got to make everything fresh and new. So there's a mixture of the nostalgia mixed with some of the new stuff. And so I found myself, I love Happy. Like, I like Happy Gilmore as a character. He feels very much like what Adam Sandler would be in real life. Like, I don't know if he has a temper like that, but Happy Gilmore is just a good dude, and I feel like everything you've heard about Adam Sandler is always positive. It's like, yo, Adam Sandler's a good dude, and so you get that from Happy, unless he's drunk and then he's punching you in the face, but, usually you earned it. I like him as a character. He reminds me of like a character like Rocky Balboa, who's just a character that I just enjoy watching. The funnier beats of the movie is just when they really just get silly and just take it there. Like long shots of Shooter McGavin escaping from the building and like just running, a wide shot of him escaping from the hospital and just not the hospital, but from that business, and he's just like running in his pajamas. Like, stuff like that, the quirky stuff that made the first Happy Gilmore work. Ben Stiller returns as the creepy guy that used to work at his grandmother's old folks home. Now he's working at the Alcoholics Anonymous place. And so it's good to see Ben Stiller again in that creepy role. You know with Adam Sandler, he putting his family in there. He putting his family and friends up in there. You know that's coming. And when I tell y'all how many Sandlers are in this movie, I'm going to read them off. So in this movie, you got Jackie Sandler, his wife. You got Sadie Sandler, Sonny Sandler. He be putting his kids to work. And then when I IMDb the kids, they're in a lot of his stuff. And I'm just like, see? Good old nepotism, man. Do it. And they delivered. And so I get it. Haley Joel Osment is in this thing. And I'll be thinking about him because he was such a dynamite kid actor. Like, his performance in The Sixth Sense is one of the best performances I've ever seen from a child actor. So I always like to see him working in the now. It's just those little quirky moments and the adversarial aspect between him and Happy Gilmore. It just works. It's not perfect. It's still just like, I still felt like they were trying to make me laugh a little bit too hard. But overall, I thought it was all right. But forget all that. You want to know the smooth jazz review of Happy Gilmore 2, Bars. Well, here it is. Oh, yeah. I'm giving Happy Gilmore 2 3 saxophones out of 5, man. It's a good watch. It's on Netflix. What you got to lose? Man? Yeah. It was enjoyable. Better than I expected. I knew it wasn't going to be no 5. I knew it wasn't going to be no new classic, but it was better than I expected for sure. So, yeah. And I always like Happy Gilmore's fresh Timbs on the golf course. Like, I'm a fan of Timberland boots, man. And Happy be rocking them joints. So now I want to play golf and wear some Timbs. On the golf course. Shirt untucked with Timbs on. Birdie. Eagle. All right, peeps, that's my review of Happy Gilmore 2. Let me know what you thought of the movie in the comments section below. What are some comedy sequels that you feel like were on par or even better than the first one? Let me know in the comment section below. I could throw out some names. I felt like American Pie 2 was really funny. I don't know if you can consider this just a straight up comedy, but Rush Hour 2, I felt like was a really good time. The Naked Gun 2.5. That's what comes to mind just off the rip. But let me know what a Scary Movie 2 was also a good time. But let me know what sequels you thought were on par or even better than the originals. Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as usual, we out here.